If either one of them falls down, one can help the other up, which is exactly what happened here today, which was beautiful. John 15:3-5. Greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friend. Proverbs 17:17. A friend loves at all times, and a brother is born on times of adversity. 1 Corinthians 15:33. Do not be misled. Bad company corrupts good character. Whoa.
Yeah.
I'm going to read the last one. Proverbs 13:20. Walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffers harm. Welcome back to Voice the Kingdom. I'm your host, Natalia Teixeira, and we are here once again with a very special guest, my friend Natalia. Yes. Welcome back. Thank you. So today we're having a very interesting topic, which relates a lot to us. And I want to start with reading Proverbs 27:17 that says, as iron sharpens iron, as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another.
Yes.
And I think that's so important to be said about godly friendships, because we're kind of in that age where people are so highly offended by everything that you say. They're so sensitive, they're so delicate. And where are those friendships where people are like, get up, wash your face, wash your hair, we're gonna do this? Like, where is that friendship nowadays?
But I think it's also like people, there's a lot of fake out there. There's a lot of people that in front of you, they will say one thing, but behind you, they will say another. And that's always been, and it's probably always going to be. And I think there's people, they should care for you, but their value system is different and their beliefs are different. So their way of thinking is going to be different, right? So I think they might love you and always want the best for you, but they might give you bad advice because they live their life different. So I think there's different aspects of this, but I think life is hard. If you decide to be Christian, it's going to be even harder.
Hello.
And because you're battling the physical realm, but you're battling the spiritual realm as well, and you become very aware of that. So I think the part is like, you need people that can be counsels to you. So like, and that is a very, very tiny circle, right? Where you can really be raw and be like, I'm on the floor crying, and this is what's going on, and share different things. But it's also the person, when you've already prayed all the prayers that you have inside of you, you can be like, I don't even have the energy to do it anymore. And that person is going to pick up and pray for you and pray over you and surround you with that, right? Like, it's so, and to not judge you for like, because sometimes even within the Christian, like, people can be like, oh, but she doesn't have enough faith. Oh, she hasn't prayed enough. Oh, she must be sinning. And sometimes that's not the case. Sometimes you're in dark.
You're going through a process. God is taking you through a process.
Or
remember Job's friends.
Oh, right? Yeah. They're like,
oh,
nope. You must have done
They
wrong.
went there and they stayed in silence the first few days. And they're like, now it's enough. I think he's sinning. And they're trying to correct him. And that's not what, and you saw Job restored everything he had when he prayed for his friends.
Yeah. But it's also like, I think the part of iron sharpens iron, it's like, so for example, when we talked about fasting, I was like, oh, she's fasting. It's like, and she's sharing with me her experience, and I'm like, oh, I want to do that too.
Remember the dream experience?
Oh, or when she, like, it's like she would tell me things that she experienced, and I'll be like, oh, I want that. Like, because
I want to live that in Christ.
Because I can hear like her experience and how that got her close to God, and I'm like, I want to do that, and I'm going to do it my own way. And I'm going to experience. So it's like, it's.
But you want to get, it's taking you closer to God.
It's not envy, it's admiration, right? Because you want to admire people that are getting ahead of you in some way, like, and like they're able to experience different things that you maybe haven't, or like. But for example, when I did the 7-day fast, and you're like, I haven't even done that, and you're like, I want to get to that point, but like I only did because the Holy Spirit told me to do it. But I'm like, so then like your friends are the friends, they're like, it's almost like you sharing these experiences with God, and you're like, you can admire the person because you know how much it costs to do that, and not because you're envious because somebody has more than you do.
Yeah.
So I think it's different, but I think that's obviously very important. But I think the part where like you just don't have it anymore, like you don't have it anymore, and you're like, I need someone that's praying, like for me, like, or like you like, I have you on my prayer wall, and I have your family on my prayer wall, and the people like, I mean, my prayer cards, it's like I have everybody from Natalia's office, like before I even met them, because by association they were part of my prayers, because so like I don't really work here, but I do by spirit. Okay, like I'm part of the prayer calls. I'm part, like I'm not an employee, but I am in spirit, because that's through my love for you and your family, because that's the friendship. So it's like it becomes a whole other circle of things, but like because there's a relationship where it's like there's so much that's being shared, right? So like I have the picture of your kids in my refrigerator, you know, but like it becomes so much. But you also need someone that's going to like tell you when you like one time I went back to cussing a lot, and Natalia was like, you need to stop this. And I was like, no, you're right. Because I was around people that have different values, and I just got lost in the conversations.
Yeah. You need to have the courage. I think that in new or old friendships, you need to have the courage to confront, even with love. We had a situation, wasn't really a friend, but as we tried to be honest women of God, we felt the need that we needed to confront the person based on a situation that happened. It was a very hard conversation, but I didn't want to have this conversation behind her back. I wanted her to hear from me that I disagreed with certain aspects of an event, that I didn't think that it had order or an organization. And I said, we see a calling in your life, but you're going down the wrong path.
You need to be honest, because your essence is that way. And I think when you have a safe environment where you can practice that, it becomes easier for you to bring it to outside to other people. And it was funny because Natalia met me when I was not saved. And let's just say I had a shorter temper. So she still thinks I'm that way because we don't have as much of in-person time, because we've been living in different states, and I'm all over the place all the time. In terms of geography, not as a person.
So we only interact with each other. I don't see how you interact with the world.
With other people. Yeah. So then, like, in this conversation, she's like, you gotta be careful what you say. And then I was the one that was like a lot
super kind.
Like kind, because I was like, because
you've learned how to talk to people.
Okay, I wasn't that bad. No, but
you were not. No, you were very honest, but you were I
was a little more blunt.
Yeah, but you were very kind.
Yeah.
It was
no, but I'm saying in the past I was a lot more blunt.
Oh, okay.
Now I can remove myself from the situation, and I've learned to sit in places where I've been in situations where I sat in rooms and in meetings where I was like completely humiliated or spoken to certain ways because people were just completely out of their like mind, and I was able to remove myself and be like, it's not worth for me to get to that level. I'm just gonna sit here and be quiet. I'm gonna cry when I leave, and I'll be upset, but I would not go down to that level because that doesn't represent me. So like, and you have to have people that help you get to those places, or you can bring situations and be like, am I wrong to feel this way? Am I wrong to think this? Like, you bring into God, but like we need people in our life, because God tells us like we need to be together to, like, you know,
we have to sharpen each other.
Like, we need to be able to be like, no, like Natalia has always been the person to be like, you cannot work for a company, you need to work for yourself. Like, you too, like, So you need people that are going to push you and be like, see the things that are so used that you're so used to doing that becomes so easy for you. For example, like we talked about before about the book.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just have this because I know so much about what she's capable of. And like, I'm like, no, I just see you being able to do X, Y, and Z. So like, she might not have that vision, but because she's inside, and then you need people that are outside, they're like, no, you can do way more than that and really see your skills for what they are. So like, you need people that are also going to bring you down to earth when you start getting a little out of hand.
Yes.
But that you're not going to take it personal. Like, so like if you say something, I'm going to be like, okay.
I get easily offended or create a defensive wall. And I have 3 good friends like that. You, Jackie, and Gubia are really good. Isa is pretty good like that, even though she's very young, where people confront me or say, no, I think you're wrong. And you need friends like that.
And with Isa, it's even different because she works
Yeah.
Under you.
Yeah,
like
works under
like
me.
not that under in the sense of less, but like you are her boss.
Yeah.
So to be in a relationship,
but it's the culture we created.
Yes, and to be in a relationship with where the person, and I had somebody that worked with me that technically in terms of role, that person was underneath me, that be like, you like, and we'll get into these like arguments, like we'll be like going, and he was not Christian, but we had this relationship where with work, we, even though he was underneath me, he could be like, listen, you're out of line, or like, you need to change this, and we'll go back and forth, and eventually be like, okay, and we'll just hug it out and leave. Like, we might not agree with this or be able to call you out on something, but she'll be able to be like, you know what, I can see for the situation, not for my feelings, because our feelings betray us.
Yes.
Our feelings are deceiving. Our feelings are going to get us to sometimes not see things for what they are, and sometimes that can trick us to behave outside of who we are. And that's the part that we have to be so careful. And you need to have people be like, listen, I'm thinking about this. Like, every time I think I'm going to have to move somewhere, I'm like, so I think God wants me to move here. And Natalia's like, are you sure?
We're in the middle of a prayer card right now.
I have so many prayer cards. But I'm like, she would be like, are you sure? Have you prayed about like, and like, I'm comfortable enough to be like, okay, this is what I've done. This is how I pray. And this is how I feel like it's God showing up. And then she'd be like, oh, okay. And then sometimes she'd be like, well, how about you do this? And then see what God says. Because sometimes it's like, it's so overwhelming to have to make a decision. Right?
Yes.
That's like, can you help me decide? Because I trust you, or your advice. I know you're always going to tell me to go seek God instead of being like, I'm going to give you an example. When I moved to San Diego, I had a person that was like, so what are you doing? And I was like, well, right now I'm just like living by faith, like God told me to like just drop everything and be in his presence. And then the person said to me, and it wasn't like ill intent. I really think this person wants the best for me, but it's given from a more worldly advice. And it was like, sometimes when you read the Bible too much, you can overthink.
Yeah.
How much of the Bible have you read? Like, like, I know how you live your life, so it's like, I know it's
don't
different.
understand.
It's so different than what I'm pursuing. Like, I know that's the best advice you can give me within how you live, but I know that's not the life I'm pursuing.
Yeah.
So I have to have that discernment to cut that noise out and be like, that kind of doesn't align. So like, I think I got like, there's certain things now I'm like, I can't even bring it up to certain people. Like some advices, like some situations, I guess.
Yeah. No, I know. You and I really believe that, like, you need to pick the table and pick the room, and then we have to categorize our friends. I think that's very important.
Yes.
We really do.
Even Jesus did that.
Yeah, Jesus did that. So like Jesus had the 12, but in moments that even he had the 12, he had the 3, and within the 3 he had the 1. So we need to learn. So there are friends where I'll take certain situations to, and there are friends that they won't even know until it happens. They won't even know until it happens.
And so like one thing that's been popping for me, it's like the importance of the table. Like you have to have a table, and like who sits at your table, it's like not, you don't want every person like putting your hand on your head to pray for you. Oh. You don't want like people like
that can be a whole episode.
Like those things of like the table, who is at your table, like because I'm very much of like, oh, you cool, like I'm gonna trust you. Yeah. I always trust first, like it's so bad, but it's good. But like, who is at your table? Like your table.
I've been praying. So we were talking about the last episode about surrender, and I've been asking God for new tables and who is allowed to sit at my table, because I've always been a person like, yeah, let's do a barbecue, bring everyone,
because you've always brought everybody to your house, everybody to like stay at your house.
The Holy Spirit said, no, you need to be selective. You need to be selective. That's one thing when you go out to dinner with everyone at a local restaurant, but who you bring into your house, who you bring into your table here at the office to talk business, to talk shop, be selective. And that only happens with relationship with Jesus.
Yes.
If not, you don't go by your logic, because some people look, that person looks strange, but that person walks with Jesus.
And that's the part where I even told you, like, I was like, I really need to like really accept that I have a gift of discernment. You really do. Because I don't I really have these things, and like you've told me this before, like I have these feelings about things and people, and I just put it on me, and I'm like, oh, maybe I just don't like the person, or no. And it's like always I'm like, why didn't I listen to that? And like who you bring to your house, who you bring to your conversations, to sit at your table, to pray over you. Like there's so many things with this where like it's not to judge people, but like they are like, Jesus helped all these people, and but like he didn't, like his table was his table. And even like with his table, there was like the 3, and then there was the 1. But I think in the importance of having a table. Yeah. Because sometimes we don't, and we operate because we're so busy, but having a table.
That's what people need to understand. There is your secret place. You need to have that. It's just you and Jesus, right? That's you, Jesus, the Holy Spirit, God the Father. But he wants you to live in community. And then there is like the community you go to, your church, and then there is your table. So you need to be able to have a table, a good counsel, friends that lift you up in prayer. Like today, I'm not going to be shy because I want to testify about that. Today I was having a really hard day. Today I was having a full blown meltdown. I just woke up heavy. She's staying over my house. I came down the stairs. She looked at me. She's like all perky. She's like, "Hi, good morning." And I'm like, I looked at her. I'm like,
I'm gonna cry all day.
Today I'm gonna cry. I feel it. My spirit is crushed. And she's like, it's okay. We're gonna get through our meetings today, and you can just cry through them, but we're gonna get through our meetings. So she's like, she's not giving me an excuse, but she's like, you do what you need to do, but we're gonna get through it.
She's like, I need you to think for me today, and I was like, I got it. Like I'll think for you, and I'll do this.
Yep. And then we have our 12 p.m. prayer meeting, our prayer business meeting, and we start the prayer on a group call. Then there's 80 people on the group call, but not everyone shows up. Sometimes we have 10, 15, 12. Yeah. We have about 15 or 16 people today. And someone prayed. I put it on mute, and I just started bawling on a phone call. And then we got off the call, and that's when my team prays for our office and for our team. And then someone on our team has asked me to kneel, and then our whole team surrounded me in a circle, and they prayed over me. They ministered over me.
But I think the part that you didn't see it was like you were still crying from like the call. Yeah. And like she got up, and like she knew, like
she already knew.
She knew, like, because she knows you so, she's so close to everything that's happening. And when we came in this morning, you were like, today's one of those days.
Yeah.
She was like, got up and she's like, kneel here, and like, you guys put your hands towards it. Like, so like she took the, like, you, even though you the leader in this environment, it's a person that's in your table, and then she took that burden from you, and she's like, even though you're the leader, sometimes when we're in leadership, we think we're the one, like we have to do everything, and we cannot be vulnerable. And she was like, I got you.
Yeah. So today was really powerful to like to actually be here, sitting here, and actually have lived that today. So,
and did you notice how you changed after that?
My whole mood changed.
Yeah.
My whole mood changed, and she prayed that over me. She prayed for me to just have that joy and that energy, and immediately I got up from there. I did cry a couple of times after that during the meeting. Or was it before?
No, that was before. Because then we started having our meeting, and we started doing things, and you started being productive and getting all this stuff done.
See?
So that
the power of prayer.
But like the ideas, it started flowing. And it wasn't like, because in the morning I was more like being like, okay, how about we do this? And I'm still trying to like guide it, but like there's things I can't think for you. And it's like, okay, and like it shifted, and then like you started doing other things, and because you have people that can lift you up and like carry, and sometimes that might be for days, right? And sometimes that will be for a few hours, and depending what you have going on, that would be a little bit heavier. But you need people that sometimes can just like, you walk into the room, they can tell something's off, because when the person's at your table, they know, like they know something is off. And you also, I think when you're in that environment, you know, because like if you work at an environment, right, where, or you in this environment where people they're not at your table, they don't know this part of you, or they can't know what's going on. Now you're putting a mask on. Now you're trying to operate under a mask when you're broken, when you're in pain, when your life is falling apart, when these things are happening. And it's very hard to be in that way. And you can do it for a little bit, but eventually that's going to catch up to you, and you're going to be destroyed, and like you lose your identity. Yeah. So if you have that table and you have people that can be like, what's going on?
Yeah.
What's happening? And they're like,
because you don't want that coming from anyone. Yeah. You want that coming from specific people, selected people.
Yeah, because you don't want somebody being like, oh, something's off, because they're going to judge you, or because like,
or use that against you.
Yes. Yeah. And sometimes even like in church, you have to use that discernment to like, who are the people that you opening up, because people are going through their walks in church as well. And it's like, we've all probably experienced something in church where like people might judge you, or like they, based on their experience, they would think a certain way. And like the importance of the table, and like knowing that people that don't walk the same walk as you, they are probably going to give you the wrong advice.
Oh yeah. Stay away from that.
They will give you the wrong advice, and they will, if you're not smart, they will corrupt you. Yeah. Like if you're not connected to God and to a strong table, it will corrupt you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So if we go to 2 Samuel 13:3, it says, but Ammon had a friend. So Ammon, is that how you say Ammon? Amnon had a friend. So Amnon was one of the sons of David, and he raped his sister.
Yes.
And that was part of the Bible. Yeah, so that was the advice of his friend Jonadab. So look at that. So Jonadab told him this whole scenario: pretend you're sick. When your father comes and visit you, you ask him to send his sister,
because she can cook your favorite meal, and you want to watch her cook.
And when she brings the meal to you to feed you because you're too sick, you rape her. Yeah. So look at what bad advice and bad friendship causes.
And it's your sister. Right. Like for anyone that would be wrong, and it's your sister, and there's consequences to that.
Absalom ended up killing him.
Yeah. It becomes a big thing. It's funny you said that, because that's where I am right now in the Bible.
It's so exciting.
Like it's really right now.
It's so exciting.
And it's bad advice. Yeah. It's like, because this person,
but he was so sickened by this desire that he wasn't thinking straight, and
But
he went
it's
for advice.
also the person that gave him the advice, it's not from that royal family. The consequences for that person are not your consequences. It's so different. Like any advice, like if it's like you asking advice in marriage to someone that's never been married. Like that is the worst. Like I've been married before. It's been a long time. I can probably give some advice to like maybe a similar experience. Some people be like, oh, I've went through that. But like I haven't been married in 8 years. I'm probably not the best person to give you advice. I can probably give advice like
on what not to do.
On like what not to do, or like, you know, things I wish I'd done different or things like that. But like, and you also like, just because somebody's married, you can't ask for advice. Like you want to ask advice for somebody that has what you would like or somebody you would admire. Like Natalia and Junior have an amazing marriage, right? It's probably not perfect. There's probably parts that I don't see it. But they've been married for so long, so it's like they're probably someone that would ask for marriage advice. But like asking advice on how to raise your kids or how to go through a situation with your kids for someone that doesn't have kids or had never gone through that, it's like, would you hire a like an architect to fix your teeth? No, it's like the same thing. So like you like, even if it's somebody that shares the same faith, like we like we're each other stable, but like there's things you can't ask me because I've never done it.
There's some people good in finance. There's some people with words of wisdom. There's some people that's good in administration. There's some people that's good in construction. You don't go to, you know.
You have to be able to understand that. And that's like, but also as a friend, like if Natalia says like, oh, I went to so-and-so to ask for advice, I can't be like, why didn't you ask me? Like you have to recognize what you're good at. Or like she might ask me something and I'm like, I'm not the person for you to ask this. Like you have to recognize that part of the friendship as well without taking it personal. Of like, no, this person is not the right person to do it. Of like, or also be like, why are you hanging out with this person right now? Like,
absolutely.
ChatGPT decided to get in the room. But I'm like, there's so many aspects of this, but I guess the big part is like, choose your table wisely. Choose who you talk to wisely.
Choose your circle, because there's a table can be, you know, Judas sat at the table. You have to remember that. Judas sat at the table, and sometimes Judas is very necessary for that mission to be completed.
What did we say? We talked about this yesterday. Was even the other disciples, when Jesus said somebody was going to betray him, the other disciples were like, who? They didn't notice Judas was Judas. That Judas was going to be the person that was going to betray. So sometimes you got to be careful too, because you might have somebody in your circle that is playing
and sometimes
it so well.
Judas should be at the table.
Sometimes we need a Judas.
You need to have discernment and see Judas and be quiet. But Judas shouldn't be part of the three or part of the one. So choose your friends wisely. Have godly friends. Choose your counsel. Please share with us any experience that you have. We would love to read your feedback and hear more. And we love testimonies. And we'll see you next time. Until the next episode.
Goodbye.
Let's go eat, because I'm going to eat.